Hi everyone, this is Mistel, and today we're going to have a look at one of my PvP teams. This is a pretty standard team that you probably met a couple of times if you have been doing any sorts of pet battles. But it's centering around the Anubis idol here and the ability Sandstorm. And the Sandstorm, as you probably know, will reduce the damage that pet takes, and it will also reduce accuracy by 10%. So you use this, and that basically, as you will see later in this video, makes it a lot of abilities that people use with their pets will be void with the Sandstorm because it won't actually do any damage. Then you use Rupture because it's a stun, and the same with little Ragnaros here, the Magma Trap, and with Direhorn Runt you have the Horn Attack. So basically you have 3 different stuns from these pets. Then you have the Primal Cry, which works with the Horn Attack to make sure that you are faster than the opponents, and then you have the Direhorn Charge, which will deal some damage, and you can get it in before they can get their attacks in because of the always goes first. Now Direhorn Runt's abilities will be nerfed a little bit in 5.4, so this team setup might not be as good as it is now when the next patch hit, but we'll see. Then you also have the Demolish ability, which is a 50% hit chance, but because of Sandstorm it's you want to have hard-hitting abilities, and doesn't really matter that much what the hit chance is because it will be reduced anyway, so there's not that much difference between 50% and 40%, whereas there's a lot more difference between 100% and 90%, because then you really want your abilities to hit. And then you have Sulphurous Smash, which is also a hard-hitting ability with a little bit of a lower hit chance. And then finally you have Sons of Flame. Now Sons of Flame doesn't work very well with Sandstorm because most of the damage will be removed, but it's a really good spell to use if you have the Anubis idol out of the game because it's either been killed or you haven't had it in yet, because it's 3 rounds where your little Ragnaros basically won't take damage unless your opponent has some sort of burrow spell. So anyway, this is my setup. It works really well, I feel. Just for the record, my Direhorn Runt is the power balance type. It's basically because that's the one I have. I probably would go with the hit points power if I could choose myself, but to be honest, it works pretty well as it is. So I'm gonna now show you a couple of fights and let you know where I'm using the abilities and why, and you can see why this team is so powerful. One of the benefits of this setup is, as mentioned before, a lot of stuns combined with hard-hitting damage, as you can see here. So you get some extra turns in where your opponent's not able to do anything and retaliate in any way, which is, as you can probably imagine, pretty good. And we have the Direhorn also with the stuns that it provides, which again gives you some ability, some room for doing extra damage without taking anything in return. One of the reasons I really like to have Ragnaros on my team is not just his high damage output and not his stuns, but also his abilities to deal out a lot of damage without taking any himself. This underground attack can be countered, or he can take damage if the opponent has some sort of burrow or any other underground attack, but as you can see here, in most cases you're lucky and you can get some damage in even when he's at very low health, and I really like that about him. You potentially can kill off the opponent even if you are close to death, so it's really cool. Sandstorm is awesome if you're playing against a team where they are trying to deal a lot of damage but in small chunks, like for instance the Clockwork Gnome's turrets here. As you can see, everything is getting blocked because of the sandstorm, and this is one of the reasons I really like using the Anubis idol and why it's so strong, on the verge of being overpowered actually. This is a really strong team, and I think I'm winning probably 7 or 8 out of 10 times. The main problem you will encounter is if you come up against a team that has a lot of high hitting vanity pets on it, or as with this team, a combination of hard hitting and also a swap out team, so you don't have the control over when you have your Anubis idol in and can do sandstorm, etc., etc. But other than that, you should have no problem winning most fights, and this is a strong team. Especially if you're new to the game, I would advise going with this setup, so you can have some wins under your belt before you start trying too many creative things. Good luck! If you want to see more PvP battles or more battle pet guides, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, and if there's something particular you would like to see, then leave a comment below.